Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about how to build a thesis using this bear. So this is from my handmade build a thesis workshop or build a claim workshop that my brick and mortar students worked on this year. If you'd like this resource, it will be linked below for you to be able to access for free if you'd like to use it. So up here on the top, we have ask a question. What do you want to know? So for our particular uses in class, we were focused on challenges of teens in the world. And so for their questions, it kind of mimicked something like this of how or why, because these are our big evaluation questions. How is blank a challenge for teens of the world? Originally, it started as is blank a challenge for teens of the world, but we focused a little bit more on it, and we wanted to make sure it was more analytical, more evaluation style questions, just like in our developing effective questions sheet that I did previously. So this is our focus. Now here, you need to make sure you always have a position whenever you are writing any kind of argumentative essay or project. You need to make sure your position is clear. So in this case, it's like, yes, whatever your topic is a challenge for teens. Now, for me, my challenge that I used as an example was famine and world hunger. Kind of use those interchangeably. I'm just going to put famine in this box here. Yes. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit with this so you can see it. Here we are. So how is famine, world hunger, or whatever your challenge is, or this is whatever question you needed to be, a challenge for teens of the world, and then your position. So yes, this is a challenge. Or if yours is more of a rebuttal style essay or project, say no, this is not a challenge, or no, this is not what I believe. Now, here we come to our reasons. So, the first reason, this is where our evidence things are going to go. Hopefully, by this point, you have been looking at sources and you found a couple different reasons to help support your claim. So, for me, what I have found, so I would say, I found in one of my sources that famine and hunger cause chaos and disarray in affected areas. Now, for me, because I teach middle school, this would be where I would have my students make sure they tell me which source this comes from. I have them number them in Google Classroom so I'm able to go back and look. But in this case, if you're just using this for personal use or for your own classroom, you can make that decision yourself on what you'd like to do. So there's the first reason. Famine, hunger causes chaos and disarray in affected areas. I said also that famine causes birth defects from malnutrition. And I said for my third reason that kids and teens die each year from famine. So now that we have all of the extremities filled on our bear, we need to combine the reason and our position. So we need to make sure that this is clear in our actual thesis statement or our claim statement, whatever you'd like to call this. So here, I would say hunger is a challenge that teens face in the world because And then I'd start with my reasons. Because it causes chaos in affected areas, comma, birth defects from malnutrition, and death to children and teens each year. Now, this would be where I would probably need to go and revise and go back and look at my source that I used to find the exact number of deaths, but it is in the thousands. So that would be where I would want to go back and edit that just a little bit. But this is how I would have anybody use this source. Start up here with asking your question: what do you want to know? State your position, be clear, and have your reasons behind it. As long as you have two very strong reasons, you may not need the third, but I always think it's safest to go with a three so that you can fall back on something in case one of your reasons or sources might be a little weak. And then combine your position and reasons into a sentence. So, hunger is a challenge that teens face in the world because it causes chaos in affected areas, birth defects from malnutrition, and death to children and teens each year. So this would be how I would use this resource. And I hope that this helps you out. And if you are one of my students who is doing this to help catch up on some makeup work, please don't forget to turn this into your folder before the end of the week when I do your folder checks for your argumentative work.